Well, I've been feeling a little off lately, so I haven't videoed anything. However, you can see that intercooler's on, hood latch brackets are in, headlights are back in, oil cooler is in, oil cooler lines are hooked up. I have the radiator fan back in, plugged in, coolant reservoir's back in. That's an n55 coolant reservoir. It was needed for obvious reasons with these RBGF high flows. Yeah, headlights are plugged up. I filled the cooler with oil before hooking it back up. Took just about a quart. Then I pulled this, dumped some oil into there, whatever was left, and then 7 quarts of AMSOIL braking oil went right into the motor. Only the best. You know, the car's in its third build. This is the third time I'm rebuilding her. First time motorcycle I'd hit it. Took out the rear bumper, front bumper, control arm, a couple things, nothing crazy. Second time was a pretty good accident. You seen that one. This time is a complete heart transplant and tranny. So nothing here is original. So if you're out there slapping some rims on your car and some LEDs and calling it a build, I don't want to hear shit from you. Trans cooler, oil cooler, intercooler, everything's tightened up for the most part. I just, I spent some time because I didn't quite remember I had all the hoses and everything routed, so that way it would have no interference or much. But I got it. It's not exactly the way I had it before, but it's in a better position, as a matter of fact. So I like the way it's working. I'm gonna tighten up my bracketry that holds these guys together. What else do I gotta do? Obviously, the vacuum canister still gotta go back in. She has the 7 quarts in her of the AMSOIL, plus whatever the cooler took, just about a whole quart itself. But that would eliminate any air bubbles and shit. Tuesday, a new charge pipe's coming in. I ran this since day one, which is essentially the shittier type. It kept popping off, and you can see that just looks like trash anyway. It stopped popping off, I'll tell you that. But I still bought one with a regular connector, and let's hope that doesn't leak on me. You know how those O-rings like to go. I never had a boost issue with this leaking, but popping off the first few weeks I had it was a problem until it took. Fuel purge valves in there. Everything else is up in there. I should throw my catch can back in at the moment. As you can see, I also painted the braces. But before it gets way too tight, I'm gonna throw the catch can back in there with the plumbing for the PCV system. Another thing I still gotta do is, as you can see over here on this side, my DME box has the reflex, wiring, pressure sensors, flex fuel sensors running through it. What I'm gonna do to seal this box, and I don't know yet. I haven't decided how I'm gonna work it out. But then again, the reflex also isn't in it yet because I still gotta flash it. And I also want to run wiring so that way I could use it to power my secondary fuel pump. Ground wire comes out, goes right to there. Gotta tighten that back up. But I got a bunch of auxiliary ports and everything. It's all tapped nice. But again, you know, with these wires being here, I don't want to pinch them in any fashion. I'm thinking maybe I'll just take a blade, slice it here, drop them right in, so that way they run inside the wiring loom. And that'll be the safest way to do it, so they don't get pinched in any fashions. The reflex is going to live in that slot. I mean, the AIC was in there and it worked out great. Also, when I had the AIC, though, I also ran the wire out of the box and into my glove box, so if I ever had to reflash anything, it wouldn't be a problem. But fuck the AIC, and the reflex should be a 1, 2, 3 deal, not have to constantly flash, because it's, well, smarter. But I didn't want to close it up yet. I gotta go back to the wiring diagram and see which one is my pulse width modulated wire, or if I'm using a 5 volt or whatever the case is. Because I got these two here and the third that are just open end white, gray, and yellow. And then I've got a 5 volt out optional, 5 volt plus anyway, optional out on this side of it. I'm not sure which one is gonna run to a relay, but I'm definitely gonna run one to a relay to kick on the pump when it sees fuel rail pressure and boost pressure. I'm in a happy place with the car anyway. Emotionally, yeah, not so much. And after getting all of this together, like I built the engine, I built the train, you got it all together, the wiring, all the important shit I got, somehow, I can't remember how the bracketry for the splash shields underneath go. And that's kind of why pieces of brackets are still sitting there. The part that connected to the exhaust originally probably won't go back up because there's nowhere on the 6 HP 28 for me to put it on. So fuck that. I'm just gonna get the brackets up that hold the splash shields for the very far and the middle, because I never even put the front one back up after the first accident, which I still have, but I haven't done it. I mean, at this point, I feel like everything's in a really good place. Wires are nice, tucked away, clean. Nothing's gonna rub, nothing's gonna hit. You know, none of the steel braided shit's gonna eat through any of the rubber hoses or kill anything else. There's a lot of things that are deleted on the car, fog lights, shit like that. So all those harnesses are zipped up because really I only use the headlights. There's no fog lights, no, fuck all that extra garbage, especially with the custom bumper I built. Like, yeah, I have fog lights, but what the fuck I need it for? This is the impact sensor, which originally lived, I believe, clicked right into the fender well, but that can't be there no more, so I'm gonna zip tie her somewhere as well. Just don't want it zip tied somewhere where at the end of the day might get the wrong feeling and decide to pop an airbag in my face. So another thing I'm gonna do is, even though that's a new oil pressure sensor in there, brand new, I'm gonna get the Nexus set up so that way MHD could run and know my exact oil pressure through a gauge, which was never an option for BMW up until recently. So $170. I got a sensor, a harness, plug it right in, and I know my oil pressure now, like an actual number. So upon startup, priming the motor, I'll know where I'm at. I won't have to worry about, am I getting oil pressure? Yeah, so I mean, Tuesday the new charge pipe's coming. That's why this is still loose. I probably won't start her till then. She has oil. I still got to fill up the tranny. Still got to bolt together the downpipes, which I don't know why I've been sleeping on that. Maybe just because my back hurts and I don't want to get under the car, and I've been feeling real mushy because of the amount of work I've been putting into it. Like, I mean, I went straight 48 hours. One whole day, one whole night, and then I finished at 10:30 the next night. I put shit away. And that kind of fucked up my head because, 48 hours of no sleep, that I'm still feeling foggy. So, you know what? Now that this is here for the most part, I'm in a good place. Not quite ready to put the bumper on, I don't think. I don't feel like it at this moment, because sliding underneath and everything else, I don't want to fuck with it. I didn't want to do the intercooler, to be honest with you, if I have to go back under the car. Obviously, you see I got rid of that hard plastic line and just put fittings in between because those crack and blow. Also, I had to put, connectors in between the hose that runs to the bottom of the n54 bottle to make it work. But I needed the height, otherwise the n54 bottle would have hit the outlets. Everything that went together now is twice as good as it was before, between heat wrapping, wiring. Everything's a lot cleaner, clearer, and set up better. And this is what's taking so long, is trying to manipulate everything so nothing interferes, yet all works properly. But I'm standing here and, you got to think. I'm going through some of my old YouTube videos to see what came down, how I took it down, and how it's supposed to go back. So somebody pulled up to my house. Let's see who's with the reggae. Yep, and it's a man. Who that? Alright.